going to go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Joanne.
Yeah, my name is Joanne Ray, and I am the president of the Kentucky Nurses Association. And it is amazing to see 44 people on here, nurses in the state of Kentucky, that are either candidates or want to listen to the candidates tonight about why they want to be a part of the Kentucky Nurses Association. We have over 18 candidates here tonight that you will be listening to via video or in live person. Some people that were unable to attend actually sent in videos to us, so we will have those as well. I do want to shout out Annie Afton and her as the chair of the Nomination and Elections Committee on the amazing job that her team has done to get the candidates together, to get the paperwork completed. We have a lot of new faces that are going to be on the ballot, which is amazing. That's what we want. We want some new blood on the KNA. So I'm going to turn it over to Annie now to get us started. But I just want to thank you all again for taking the time out of your evening to listen to these candidates.
Thanks very much, Joanne. We appreciate you being as our KNA president for this year and your work that you do and relationship to KNA and promotion of nursing in Kentucky, as all of us are gunners for being promoting of nursing. So thank you again for everyone's time on allowing us to be on this time together for our election forum. I want to give you a couple of updates on some individuals that were not able to be here that I'm aware of. Ben Hughes, which is running as a board of director at large, he's on a sporting event with his children and no one else could take them, so that's where he is. And Sylvania Watson, she's on as an administrator for the Education and Research Cabinet. She is actually out of the country right now, and so could not get access via Zoom where she is to join us. And then a Shannon Allen, which is going to be on the Nominations Election Committee, she was not available. So Dolores White's going to be our timekeeper. She's the current KNA past president, so we appreciate that. Each individual has a total of 3 minutes, and she will set the time. And again, this meeting is recorded. It's available when it gets kind of edited a bit. It'll be available on the KNA YouTube site, so you can refer to that if you need to. And again, we want people to campaign and get your colleagues and friends to vote. Voting is the key. Vote, vote, vote. So whatever you can advertise in your own chapters where you are, to your own colleagues, wherever you work or whatever you're associated with, get the KNA people to come out and vote for their candidates. Starting off with the candidate presentations for the board of directors. And I'm going to start off with the president-elect person of Renee Cecil.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Renee Cecil. I am honored to be a candidate for the KNA president-elect. I've spent my career as a nurse, a leader, and an advocate from the emergency department to the boardroom. And I believe nursing is really a universal language. It may sound different in every unit in every region, but at its core, it speaks really the same truth: compassion, dignity, and care. I currently serve as the River City chapter chair, and I have contributed in both the special events and the nominations and elections committees. Our chapter has worked alongside community leaders like Christopher 2X and Family Scholar House to build connections in the community and support nursing students during the most vulnerable points in their journey. We all remember that part. We've made progress, but we cannot stop now. Just early this morning, a gunman entered the emergency department at St. Elizabeth, Covington. This is yet another painful reminder that workplace violence is not an abstract issue. It's real and it's here. It threatens the physical and emotional safety of our profession. Kentucky nurses cannot afford to stop fighting, and that's why I'm running, to continue in a strong advocacy platform for nurses and the communities that we serve, to increase awareness of the benefits of KNA, not just for professional growth, but for protection, policy change, and power in numbers, and to be a strong, compassionate voice for every nurse in Kentucky, from the bedside to the classroom, to rural clinics to urban trauma centers. As Rumi, the 13th century Persian poet, once wrote, "I know you're tired, but come, this is the way." While compassion cannot cure, it can save us. It actually reminds us of who we are and what we stand for: equity, safety, and community. If you believe in Kentucky where nurses are seen, heard, and empowered, then I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Renee. moving right along, our vice president candidate is Marcia Woodall. Is she on the call?
I'm here. How's everybody? Can you see me okay? Good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I am Marcia Woodall, and it's really an honor and a privilege to be here this evening to talk to you about my application as a nominee for the vice president position. Just want to say, as a nurse, and as all of us are nurses, we advocate for patients, families, community. KNA gives us that platform to advocate for each other, and that's why over many, many years I've contributed to KNA and to the successes that we've had. Just a little bit about my history. In KNA, I am the immediate past president and founding member of the Pennyroyal chapter down here in Western Kentucky. I currently serve on the Finance Committee, and I am proud to serve as the president of the Kentucky Nurses Action Coalition, or KNAC. So we look at KNA as the enterprise with KNA, KNF, and KNAC. So I'm proud to be that president. That term will be ending for me in November, so that's why I would like to step up and be the vice president. As the vice president, I will be chair of the bylaws committee, and it's a role I take very seriously. During the last couple of years as president of KNAC, I have worked closely with the bylaws committee as we are focusing on one set of bylaws for KNA, KNF, and KNAC as we have merged. So I do believe in continuing that work as we grow and continue to merge and become this even better enterprise than we already are. So I feel like with that experience, it's helped me prepare for the role of vice president and chair of the bylaws committee. Through KNA, I've contributed to 2 publications in JONA, Journal of Nursing Administration, regarding mental health issues of nurse suicide. I was also the evaluator and analyzed over 30,000 evaluations from the nurse suicide and implicit bias CEs. Every role I've taken on, I have felt empowered by KNA, and I hope I've empowered others to do the same, especially in our latest initiative of KNAC, which is human trafficking. We just put on, thanks to a couple of people, not me. I just kind of sparked the idea and they took it on for human trafficking. So together, through our new board and new contributing cabinet members and committee members, I just hope we can continue to strengthen KNA and elevate the nursing profession. So I thank you for allowing me to be in leadership, and I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Moving on to secretary on the board of directors, which is Dolores White.
Thank you, Ann. All right, as I hit the start on that, it took my notes away. But hello, for those of you that are not aware of me, if we've not had the opportunity to meet, I am Dolores White, and I have had the pleasure of serving as president-elect, president, and right now currently as the immediate past president for the KNA. And as I am finishing up my presidency term and reflect on the great work that we accomplished together, I am so proud of our progress and think of just, so many accomplishments that we have achieved together. Just to name a couple, our nurse legislator engagement program, where we are pairing KNA members with the legislators within the state to build relationships and to serve as a resource for legislators making decisions on our behalf. And that is a tremendous program and has helped us with so much advocacy. So number one, I want to thank you all that are participating in that program, because it takes all of us to make it happen. But there are so many initiatives we have done together through that. One of the biggest ones is the first in the nation, our passing of the bill of decriminalizations of healthcare errors. And I just sit and think about work of the KNA and all of the committees, boards, and cabinets. And I've had the pleasure of supporting nurse leaders across the state in all of those roles and to collaborate. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. So I am now running for the board secretary position to continue to be involved with the great work of the KNA, because there's still much work to do for the profession, as well as to promote positive healthcare in Kentucky. Just to briefly share a little bit about my background beyond the presidency, I've been a registered nurse for 29 years in Kentucky in a variety of clinical, education, and leadership roles. My education in Kentucky started with my ADN at Elizabethtown Community College, and then McKendree University, continued my BSN and MSN, and then my DMP at UKU. So I have a huge Kentucky foundation that I share and collaborate with others together. I've worked again in a variety of different areas, both clinically and in leadership roles. I've been involved, as I mentioned earlier, in really, as the president, I've been involved in every committee, cabinet, and board, and truly loved the experience. Beyond the KNA, I have been involved with the American Nurses Association as well as the Kentucky League for Nursing. So I want to take my experience and continue to collaborate with you because I have a passion for the nursing profession and would welcome the opportunity to continue to support Kentucky's nurses. The work of the KNA inspires me daily, and I would be honored to be elected into the role as secretary. And I want to thank you in advance, as I would appreciate your support and your vote and the opportunity to continue to serve you and all of Kentucky's 90,000 nurses, because together we absolutely make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving right along, we have Board of Director at Large. There are 2 slots for this. We're going to start with Amy. And if I pronounce your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. Amy Fennell.
All right, my name is Amy Fennell, and I'm seeking your vote for Director at Large for the KNA Board. I have served in this position the past 2-year term, and I've learned and gained much insight about the KNA as a newcomer because this was new to me this last term. I was able to network and work with many people across the state. I served on the Policy and Procedure Committee and also served as a secretary for the Northern Kentucky chapter. I was fortunate to get accepted and complete the KNA LAA fellowship, and my project was focused on increasing the student membership in the Northern Kentucky chapter, and this is going to continue on. I returned to school this year to pursue my doctorate in nursing. I started with my ADN years ago and have grown in my career. I currently hold a master's in business, a master's in nursing, a bachelor's of science in healthcare services, and I have achieved my nurse executive certification. I currently and have worked for the past 36 years at St. Elizabeth Healthcare in Northern Kentucky, and I also work at Northern Kentucky University, where I teach in the MSN Nurse Executive track, and I've previously served in that role as a concentration coordinator for that track. I am committed to advocating for Kentucky nurses, ensuring that their voices are heard and that their needs are prioritized. We were able to get the workplace violence bill passed, and just yesterday morning, as somebody else mentioned, this impacted my peers at St. Elizabeth. Some of my work family, somebody came into the emergency department and there was a crisis that took place in their waiting room. With 36 years of healthcare experience, my background includes leadership roles in emergency medicine, resource operations, system float pool, staffing, patient logistics, observation units, departure lounges, vascular access teams, wound care, and also education. But my strong focus and passion is around patient throughput, ensuring our patients are moving through our system and we are not boarding patients within our emergency department. I understand the challenges that frontline nurses face and the strategies that are needed to drive meaningful change. I enjoy projects and change. As a director at large, I will champion for staffing solutions, advocate for what nurses need, and policy advancements that empower nurses to provide the highest quality care possible. Together, we can strengthen our professional voice and elevate nursing leadership and continue to build an organization that supports those that we dedicate our lives to patient care. Please consider me for your vote.
Thank you very much, Amy. We appreciate that. And next we'll have Michael Ranger.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? I hope.
Yes.
Very good. I've had some technical difficulties, so thank you. Well, it certainly is an honor to be here and a privilege to be asked to run for Director at Large. I have been greatly involved with the KNA for numerous years. I actually have been a member of KNA, I guess, for over 2 decades now. I currently serve as the chair for the Policies and Procedures and Resolutions Committee, as well as a member of the Bylaws Committee. I have also previously served as vice president, director at large. I'm trying to think of various roles, search committee for the executive director. I chaired that committee. So I've done a variety of things being involved in KNA. Each experience has lended very nicely to the next role that I have been afforded the opportunity. I would like this opportunity to return to the board of directors and continue to make a positive impact. Like many of my colleagues have mentioned, my start in nursing, I started as a CNA, also as an LPN, and then progressed with an associate's degree as well as a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and then also a doctorate in nursing practice, and also a PhD in education. So I certainly embody our profession. I'm very passionate about what we do as not only a profession, but also what we do through KNA. I also have had the opportunity to work either by pay with some of my colleagues here today, as well as through our volunteer work. And certainly I enjoy each opportunity, and I'm very passionate. I can't express how passionate I am about being a nurse and being able to give back to a profession that has given me so much. I enjoy my work as chair of the Policies and Procedures and Resolutions Committee, which has given me a vast knowledge base of, even more so, I think, intimately of the inner workings of KNA, which can then be lended to my role as Director at Large. Ask humbly for your vote and consideration, and if I can ever be of help to you, please let me know. And also my motto is I hope that one day everyone will love one another. That's my motto. And hope, if you don't remember anything else, it's like, just love one another. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our last candidate for this section is Marilyn Ruckey.
It's actually Riley.
Riley, thank you. Thank you for the correction.
You are welcome, Annie. Thank you. So good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here as a candidate for the Director at Large, and I'm deeply committed to the future of nursing. I believe in the power of our profession to transform lives, uplift communities, and lead healthcare into a brighter, more compassionate future. My journey in nursing has been both rewarding and purpose-driven. From the beginning of my career in the cardiovascular intensive care unit, I've been guided by a steadfast commitment to advancing the nursing profession. This passion has served as my North Star, leading me through a diverse and enriching path. I've had the privilege of serving as a clinical educator and nursing faculty member, as well as Dean of Nursing in the Indianapolis area, where I found great fulfillment in mentoring and shaping the next generation of nurses. My dedication to leadership and excellence eventually led me to executive roles, including serving as a chief nursing officer within a major health system in Indiana. And in January of 2023, I embraced a new opportunity in Kentucky, where I currently serve as the vice president and chief nursing officer at Baptist Health in Paducah, Kentucky. Education has always been a cornerstone of my journey. I hold a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, a Master of Science in Nursing as a family nurse practitioner, and a Doctorate of Nursing Practice. I also earned a PhD in Natural Health and Nutrition, as well as an MBA, reflecting my belief in the power of interdisciplinary knowledge to strengthen leadership in healthcare. As a lifelong learner, I continue to give back through education, and I currently serve as an adjunct professor in the DNP program at Maryville University. Throughout my career, I have remained actively engaged in professional organizations because I know how vital those connections are to our growth and advocacy. In Indiana and on the national stage, I've been involved in numerous nursing associations. Upon moving to Kentucky, I immediately joined the Kentucky Nurses Association and the Kentucky Organization of Nurse Leaders. I'm also a proud member of the National League for Nursing, as well as the Kentucky League for Nursing Education. I've had the privilege of sharing my voice as a national speaker at conferences, including Sigma Theta Tau, the American Organization of Nurse Leaders, the Indiana Organization of Nurse Leaders, and both Pathway to Excellence and Magnet conferences. These experiences have allowed me to advocate for innovation, excellence, and equity in nursing on the national platform. Service has always been part of my heart as a leader, and I've served on the board of directors for the American Red Cross as a system lead and volunteered as a regional nurse leader. These roles have deepened my commitment to community resilience and emergency preparedness, values that are more important today than ever. Each step of my journey with its challenges I've received triumphs And I humbly ask for your.
Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate you, Marilyn. Thank you for doing that. We're moving right along to the next section of Education and Research Cabinet. Jonathan Pritchard is going to run for the position of administrator, and he has sent a video clip, and we'll try to show that now.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Pritchard. Unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, I was unable to attend the meeting, but I still wanted to take an opportunity to share a message with everyone. I am interested in and seeking a position within the Education and Research Cabinet in the KNA because I believe Kentucky nurses deserve the best tools, training, and evidence-based research so that they can not only provide exceptional care to their patients, but so they can also thrive in their careers and so that they can also help in assisting the state of Kentucky solve some of its biggest healthcare challenges. I myself have benefited from the nurses that came before me and that paved the way so that myself and the rest of my nursing colleagues could be successful in our own careers. And I want to do the same for future nurses. You see, I believe nurses are much more than what we are portrayed in the media. We are not just compassionate caretakers. We are compassionate problem solvers, leaders, educators, and researchers. And I believe that as we come together, we truly can help Kentucky lead the way in healthcare innovation. And for these reasons, I'm asking you to consider a vote for me. I have a strong desire and passion for helping people achieve an optimal level of health. And I also have a strong desire and passion for helping nurses realize that they are much more than just compassionate caretakers. Nurses are more. I want to wish good luck to the rest of the candidates. I wish all of you well. I look forward to continuing to work with the KNA in the future, and I know that together, Kentucky can be a safer and better place in healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move now to the staff nurse position and Gladys Sublett.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Gladys.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Gladys Sublett, and I'm honored to be considered for a candidate as staff nurse with the Education and Research Cabinet with the Kentucky Nurses Association. I got my associate degree and bachelor's degree in nursing through Western Kentucky and my master's degree in nursing through Kaplan University. I have been a nurse for over 30 years and know that nursing is always changing. My background includes working in emergency department, medical surgical department, critical care department, step-down department, and also working in a nursing home. I've enjoyed being a member of KNA and know that in nursing, we are always teaching and looking forward and looking for ways to better our profession. Just a step forward, I would love to support what nursing looks like at a different level with KNA. I have read and understand what the Education and Research Cabinet does, and I'm ready to dive in and help in any way I can. My passion is to advocate for nurses and my patients. I know that teamwork is essential and look forward to working with others in this position. I will commit myself to this position. As KNA says, I will encourage and support the image of nursing. So I ask for your support and vote for this position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gladys. Appreciate you being on the call as well. Well, the next slot is for nurse faculty. Again, this is the Education and Research Cabinet. We have Teresa Huber.
Hello, I'm Dr. Teresa Huber, and I welcome this opportunity to introduce myself to those who may not know me. I have 38 years of nursing practice, having worked as a bedside nurse and then in hospital management and later on as an educator. I will be starting back to NKU this fall, where I have worked numerous years and serve as a tenured graduate faculty member. At NKU, I have taught all levels of nursing, and I'm currently the faculty lead for quality improvement, as well as a DNP scholarly project, assisting students with developing their scholarly research and quality projects. I previously served as the MSN program director, responsible at that time for over 2,000 students enrolled in the nurse practitioner tracks, as well as nursing education and leadership tracks. I frequently precept new faculty and serve on numerous committees, and I'm also a site director for NACU, which stands for the Nursing Advocacy Center for the Underserved, where we serve primarily the homeless with clinical nursing needs as well as clothing and food. I earned my Doctor of Nursing Practice at the University of Kentucky, my Master's in Nursing Education at Northern Kentucky University, my Bachelor's in Nursing from Bellarmine College, now a university, and an associate degree from Ashland Community College. My nursing research interests include tobacco cessation in the medically underserved, where I received the Nurse Researcher of the Year award for the Nursing Interprofessional Research Collaborative, which is in Northern Kentucky. I've done studies on virtual practicum workrooms, which is supplementing experiences for online DNP students. I've done studies on nursing faculty immediacy, looking at carrying actions for accelerated online courses, and other research interests which I'm currently engaged with, and I have been published as well. I am a longtime member of the Kentucky Nurses Association, having served as a district president, a director at large, the state president of KNA, and also committee and cabinet positions such as the professional practice cabinet and nominating committee and finance committee. I have assisted with the KNF Nightingale Award Committee, and I have personally conducted several Nightingale ceremonies for our deceased nurses. I chaired the chapter formation committee as the president-elect of KNA, assisting with the policy formation and transition of districts to chapters. In addition, I served with the Kentucky Board of Nursing for several years as the board secretary and also served on the KBN RN practice committee, helping improve our nursing practice with needed changes. I also served with the Kentucky Nursing Capacity Consortium. I am a current member of the KLN, the NLN, and Sigma Theta Tau International Rho Theta chapter as vice president. And again, I thank you for allowing me to share a bit about myself, and I thank you for attending this evening. I look forward to continuing my service with the KNA and providing support and relevance to our Kentucky nurses.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Ruth Kilburn.
Good evening. I doubt very many of you know me. I just recently moved to Kentucky and I look forward to getting involved here as I have been in many other states. I've lived my life in a total of 13 different states, practiced nursing in about 8 of them. I believe I bring a unique perspective to some things here because not only have I worked as a nurse, but I also have my bachelor's in genetics and my master's in molecular biology, and have worked as a research scientist at Merck & Company and for Dartmouth Medical School. Currently, I'm teaching at BCTC in the Lawrenceburg area, and I have taught in several other positions in other states. I don't think I need to tell any of this group how important education is for nurses. I think we have proven by the testimony of those who have already spoken before me how important it has been for us. We all have higher degrees. We all look at education as being vital to our nurses today. In order to be competent clinicians and for developing nurse leaders, educators, and researchers, it's important for us to have that education. Nursing research has led to countless improvements in patient safety, care coordination, chronic disease management, and more. Evidence-based practice isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And we must continue to invest in nurse research in order that our policies, protocols, and care models are based on real-world data and clinical effectiveness. I look at the previous person who spoke, and she's been in nursing a long time, as have I. And I've seen many, many changes over the years, some of which I didn't understand. But when you go and look at the research, it makes perfect sense why we would need to base everything on research, because frequently there are things that we do because everybody has done them before us, and yet they're not the best thing for our patient. They could even be causing problems for our patients, and we haven't even realized that. Education and research together build a stronger, more resilient healthcare system. We need data to guide our workforce planning, address nurse burnout, and inform policies that support safety, staffing, and fair working conditions. Education equips nurses to adapt to evolving technologies, new care delivery models, and emerging public health threats. Nurses are often frontline advocates for the underserved populations, as has been mentioned. Education empowers nurses to understand and address the social determinants of health, while research uncovers disparities and points to solutions. I ask for your vote for this position. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We're going now to move on to the Governmental Affairs Cabinet. We have member at large position. We're going to start out with Lakeisha James.
Hi, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, Lakeisha, thank you for being on the call.
My pleasure. Thank you all for considering me. So, my name is Lakeisha James, and I am running for a member at large for the Kentucky Nurses Association Government Affairs Cabinet. I've been a member of the KNA since 2020. I've attended Nurses Day at the Capitol for the past few years, and this year I had the pleasure of bringing 10 high school students with me that are pursuing a nursing career. This was an effort to show them the importance of legislature and how everyone, young and old, has a voice to advocate for the voiceless and for them to be informed on policy changes and where their voice can make a difference. I come to you not just as a nurse leader, but as someone deeply committed to protecting and advancing our profession through advocacy, collaboration, and action. I've been boots on the ground in our community for several years here in Louisville and throughout Kentucky. We all know that nursing is not just a job, it's actually a calling. And in today's healthcare and political climate, it's also a battlefield. Policies are being made every day that impact our practice, our safety, and the well-being of our patients and nursing staff. That's why our voices matter at the Capitol, in committees, boardrooms, and in every decision that touches healthcare in Kentucky. As a member at large, my role will be to serve as your direct line to the heart of legislative advocacy. I will be listening to nurses across Kentucky from bedside to boardroom to understand what real world concerns are, bringing those concerns directly to the cabinet where I'll help in whichever way I can, monitoring key policy developments, keeping everyone informed, hopefully working side by side with legislators, partners, and stakeholders to champion laws and support safe staffing, practices, and expand access to care and improve workplace and conditions. Amplifying underrepresented voices is one of the things that I'm very passionate about from rural areas, everyone from diverse backgrounds, and specialties that are often overlooked, such as geriatrics. But more than anything, I will be willing to bridge the gap between nurses and policy, between challenges and changes and solutions, between what we should and shouldn't be. I believe advocacy isn't just about legislation, it's about leadership. And I'm ready to lead with humility, courage, and commitment to results that reflect the values of Kentucky nurses. I've been a nurse for 20 years. I've been in healthcare for 20 years. I've been a nurse for 18 years. I started out as a CNA, LPN, and BSN, currently hold an MBA and SN, and I'm pursuing my DNP. I've worked in roles as a director of nursing and a chief nursing officer, and I've served in a multitude of facets on policy. My commitment is simple: to advocate for nurses, with nurses, by nurses. Together, we can drive change and not only protect our profession, but also enhance it. If you all vote for me, I promise I will serve alongside of you, hands-on and engaged.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Next, we'll go to Dee Browning.
Good evening, everyone. It's very nice to meet you, and I'm very honored to be amongst this distinguished group of men and women. I'm truly in awe. But again, my name is Dr. Eva D. Browning, and I'm running for a member at large for the Governmental Affairs Cabinet. Born and raised in southeastern Kentucky, I currently live in Taylorsville, Kentucky, the AVP of Nursing Education and Professional Practice at Appalachian Regional Healthcare, and I currently serve on the Legislative Committee of the KONL. I would bring 35 years of nursing experience to this position. I have a varied background, clinically trained for critical care, ED. I've worked long-term care, med-surg, quality, case management. So I feel like I have a lot to offer from a lot of different viewpoints. In academia, I've taught at the LPN level at the KCTCS system, and I've also taught in the BSN and SN program at Spalding University, and that's where I earned my doctorate degree, my BSN and master's degree at Indiana Wesleyan University, and my ADN from Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College. So I have experience in both rural and urban areas, and like everyone has said, I have a passion for our profession. I feel like we are just getting started, and there is just so much that we can accomplish. Now more than ever, I don't know if it's my age, but I feel a calling to serve at a greater level. I've always been an advocate for nursing and nursing education, because that's my jam, you know. Nursing education is where my heart is. But more and more, I feel the need to get involved with the governmental and legislative side of things. With this unpredictable environment, and so much is impacting our rural communities right now, I just feel like I need to step up and be willing to serve and to advocate at even a higher level than what I have done previously. I have a certification in evidence-based practice. I'm a certified nurse educator. I just love nursing. I love people because everything we do all equals patient outcomes. And so that's what I am here for. And I humbly request your vote and the opportunity to serve and do my part. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Annie Stefan.
Good evening. My apologies. I don't have access to a camera. I'm on the computer that doesn't have one because I spent an hour and a half with a broken down car waiting for a tow truck earlier this afternoon on 75. But I'm here.
I'm very glad you're on. Just keep right on talking.
Again, I'm Annie Stefan. I'm asking for your vote as a member of the Governmental Affairs Cabinet. I started my 44th year, so I'm kind of feeling antique amongst the rest of you all. Last month, I started my career in hematology oncology at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And the last 28 years, I've been in perioperative services at St. Elizabeth Healthcare. I've held different leadership positions throughout my profession, my faith, and my community. In my profession, I'm the current president of KSPAN, which is the state component of the national organization ASPAN, which is the governing body for anesthesia nurses. On the state and the local level, I sit on the Governmental Affairs Committee, and we are working on that level on workplace violence. And I was the one who drafted the letter for the members to send out to their legislators to ask for support on legislation for workplace safety. This past June, I attended the advocacy days with the AONL and pounded the Capitol Hill to work with legislators to get them to work for workplace safety and also to oppose House Resolution 1, because I hate calling it the big, beautiful bill, because that's what it is not. Within the KNA, I am part of the Nurse Legislative Engagement Program. I'm currently on the committee that is working with Julie Denton, our advocate for promoting things that we find that are important within the state, to write new legislation for workplace safety. And I'm also a recent graduate of the LAA Academy. And my capstone project was we developed a SNP, which is only the second one within the KNA, that will promote and advocate and support the LGBTQ plus community. With St. Elizabeth, I chair the Clinical Practice and Research Council and the Perioperative PI Council. Governmental Affairs Cabinet, under the guidance of our ANA Code of Ethics, has a fourfold purpose, which surrounds around improving the healthcare standards by improving equity, working on social justice, social policies at the local, state, and federal level, and doing all of this while promoting nursing, basically advocating for and learning to treat everybody with respect. And I would appreciate everybody's votes. And please reach out to me if you have any questions or would like to know anything else.
Thank you very much, Annie. Appreciate it. Next, we have Keegan Chase.
Perfect. Well, my name is Keegan Chase. I'm a board certified ambulatory care nurse and a medical surgical nurse with over 10 years of experience in the nursing profession. For the last 5 years, I've proudly served as a nurse manager for orthopedic surgery clinic at UK Healthcare. I have also participated in the Nurse Legislative Engagement Program as well as Nurses Day at the Capitol the past 2 years. During this time, I've witnessed firsthand the challenges nurses face every day, especially in ambulatory care. From staffing shortages to increased complexity of the care delivered outside the hospital walls, our nurses are expected to do more with less. And yet they continue to show up with resilience and compassion for every patient. That's exactly why I'm seeking the role of Governmental Affairs Cabinet Member at Large. I believe now more than ever, nurses need a strong voice advocating for them where decisions are being made at the legislative level. My goal is to influence policies that protect and empower nurses, advocate for safe staffing ratios, fair and equitable compensation, expand access to mental health resources, and formally recognize the essential work being done in every care setting, including ambulatory. But advocacy isn't just about raising our voices, it's about building bridges. I'm committed to fostering collaboration between frontline clinicians and policymakers, helping legislators truly understand the realities nurses face, and giving nurses the tools and support to engage in policy changes themselves. With a deep commitment to quality of care, patient safety, and professional equity, I will work hard to ensure that nurses are no longer an afterthought in healthcare legislation, but the central force in shaping it. Thank you for considering me for this opportunity to serve. Together, I hope we can create a meaningful, lasting change for our profession and our patients.
Thank you very much, Keegan. Excellent. Going on now to the next category of a staff nurse. Again, this is with the Government Affairs Cabinet. We want to go to Adam Sandfloss. Is Adam on the call?
Annie, I didn't see him when I was taking roll earlier.
Okay. Then we'll move on to Christina Desmo.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just getting my camera up here. Hi, how are you? Good evening, everyone. I am Christina Desmo, and I'm an emergency department nurse at CHI, St. Joseph Health in Lexington, and I am running for the KNA Government Affairs Cabinet as a staff nurse, and I have over 2 decades of experience in our field. Every day in our emergency department, I witness the profound impact the policies have on our ability to care for our patients. And these experiences have shaped my conviction that nurses deserve a seat at the table where decisions are being made about healthcare. My journey in nursing has taken me from the bustling hospitals of Philadelphia to Albany, New York, and now to the diverse communities that we have here across Kentucky. I've had the privilege of caring for patients at every single stage of life, from welcoming in newborns to those final moments of life where we are providing dignity and comfort. Each of these experiences has deepened my understanding of what matters most in healthcare. As nurses, we share a unique perspective that is essential to effective policy making. We see healthcare not through spreadsheets and statistics, but through the eyes of those that we care for and through the hands that do provide that care to these patients. This is why I am committed to amplifying the voices of staff nurses in legislative conversations. I believe that together we can address the workforce challenges that affect us, all by building strategic coalitions that advocate for our profession. We can improve working conditions that directly impact patient outcomes. We can develop systematic approaches that increases nursing's influence in policy decisions. And we can ensure that regulatory framework supports rather than hinders our ability to care and provide good quality care. Now, beyond my clinical role, I do have experience as a PALS educator. I was also a pharmacy council representative, an emergency trauma center in Philadelphia. In addition to that, I am also a member of the Nurses Honor Guard, which has taught me the importance of cross-disciplinary collaboration and honoring our profession's legacy. I bring to this position not just my experience, but like I said, a deep respect for the diverse perspectives within our profession and a vision that honors nursing's core values and a commitment to integrity in leadership. I envision a future where we as nurses can join together and our voices can be heard and that we can be valued for what we bring. With your support, I hope to strengthen nursing's voices throughout Kentucky and ensure that those we provide care have a say in how that care is delivered. Thank you for your consideration of me for this important role.
Thank you very much for your contribution. The next area that we have is Professional Nursing Practice and Advocacy Cabinet. We have an administrator, which is Kim Disney Reed, and she is elected to share a video.
Good evening. My name is Kim Disney Reed. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you this evening. Just want to give you a little bit of background about myself. I am the director of nursing at Shawnee State University. Previous to that, I was the director at Northern Kentucky University. I have a PhD in nursing, an MSN with a nursing education and administration, and I also have an MBA. I have actually served on the professional nursing practice and advocacy cabinet for 3 years with the KNA, and I also have served on the finance committee with the KNA for 1 year. I am very passionate about the profession of nursing, somewhat biased, but even more so, I'm very passionate about the well-being of nurses. My job, obviously, is the creation of the nursing workforce at different levels and different pathways. However, the creation of nursing and the work that we do doesn't stop once we graduate nurses. It is so important that we continue to provide for the nursing profession and, more importantly, the well-being of nurses. I really feel like the work that's being done on the cabinet is doing just that. We have presented on multiple issues and provided education for the nurses of the state, and it is timely issues, things that are impacting right now on nursing where they're practicing, whether it be in clinical settings or community settings. The other thing that I'm very passionate about is the KNA. The KNA actually supports nursing across the state, works with legislators to actually help inform them about what the issues that are being faced by nursing are, as well as what are the best practices and evidences in healthcare and for nursing. And they are very much supporting the importance of the well-being of nurses, as well as impacting on the nursing work environment. So again, I'd like to continue to serve on the cabinet, and I really ask that you support the KNA, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Kim, for that video. Member at large, we have several candidates. Eunice Taylor.
Good afternoon, or good evening rather. My name is Dr. Eunice Taylor, and I'd like to take a few minutes to share a little bit about myself and to say thank you very much in advance for considering me for this position. I'm currently serving on the Nurse Practice and Advocacy Cabinet, but a little bit about myself. I'm a nurse with over 40 years combined experience as a civilian and military nurse. I'm a graduate from a Freedmen's Hospital School of Nursing, which was a diploma school, and went on to complete my degrees with a bachelor's in healthcare administration from SIU in Carbondale, a Master of Arts from Webster University, and a Master of Nursing Education from Phoenix, and I received my doctorate from Capella University with a specialist in nursing education. I currently serve as a professor of nursing education at Owensboro Community Technical College, where I'm teaching the next generation of nurses to be ready for their clinical experiences in our simulation lab, and I really enjoy that. I've been a member of my Green River Chapter Nurses Association, where I served as the past president. I'm currently a member of our scholarship committee, where we work to develop and get funds to support our students going into the profession of nursing. I've been a member of the American Nurses Association for a number of years. I won't say how many because it will probably tell my age, but I also serve in my community as a member of the Human Relations Commission, again, advocating for the people and persons in my community, everywhere from healthcare issues to housing to disparities. And as you can see, I have a passion for education, and I have a passion for nursing, which is why I enjoy serving on the Nurse Practice and Advocacy Committee. If you had an opportunity to review the new standards, you will know that there are several standards that this committee stands for. And I love to stand for the things that sometimes our nurses don't get an opportunity to do. We work to serve you. We work to provide you with opportunities to engage. We have opportunities for you to listen and to hear and to review current issues that impact all of us, but most of all, impact our patients. And we know when our patients are impacted, they do not heal. Their outcomes do not go well. So I'm asking for your vote to keep me on this committee that I love to serve, that I love to provide opportunities for you all and all of your colleagues to be actively engaged in advocacy and education and helping change the profession of nursing. Thank you for your support. I hope for your vote, and we're looking forward to an opportunity to serve you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Eunice. We're going to go to Ray Simon. I know Ray was on the call. Ray Simon.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Go
great.
right
Listen, my name is Ray Simon, and appreciate your consideration for position, a member at large for the Professional Nursing Practice and Advocacy Cabinet. I'm new to the Kentucky Nurses Association, and I realize that there's a lot of promotion out there for the KNA and all the advantages it has to help nurses out in the field. And looking over some of these opportunities to serve and all the cabinets, I found one that I believe fits me most appropriately. With 29 years of experience, the majority of that being within the emergency care community, been a direct patient care and education as well as management in the emergency area. During all that time of, taking care of patients and just general nursing management and education, you see the best and you see the worst in cases and outcomes as they come around. In this position, looking over some of the things that they promote and that they're responsible for, the number one just rung a bell. You need to promote high standards of nursing in all nursing workplaces. And I'm like, I am an advocate for that, hands down, that our work should stand on its own when it comes to the community looking at the profession and understanding that we will do our best to take care of patients. And part of that is offering some advocacy for the actual working nurses that need help in situations that come up that they may not have the ability to conquer or the tools in their hands to be able to address. And I think that is one of the positions this committee has direct impact over. And if you would consider me, I would appreciate your vote and for opportunity to serve in this position. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ray. Appreciate you. We are next going to go to Shirley Karan, and she has given me a write-up, which I will read to you. So this is from Shirley. She is also running for a member at large on the Professional Nursing Practice and Advocacy. So she writes, "If not us, then who?" This phrase is a powerful reminder that each person has the capacity to make a difference and take action, no matter how small, can contribute to positive change. There are 90,000 nurses in Kentucky. Kentucky nurses live and work at the intersection of health, education, and communities, including the workforce. They work in a wide range of settings and practices at a range of professional levels, helping people live their healthiest lives. Without nurses, there is no healthcare. I've been a nurse for over 40 years, and my vision for myself as a professional nurse has always been to provide patient-focused care for the whole person, considering their physical, mental, and emotional health. I am a lifelong learner, an advocate for my patients and my fellow nurses and the communities across Kentucky. I will always act with the core values of respect, integrity, and empathy. I have devoted my career to helping patients deal with injuries and rehabilitation needs due to acute and chronic medical conditions. My experience in nursing included rehabilitation, occupational medicine, and care management. I partnered with KNA to promote free CEs to healthcare providers across Kentucky and was the recipient of the 2024 DEI Champion of the Year for KNA. The nature of work has changed in recent decades, leading to new psychological and physical exposures that can contribute to healthcare disparities. Nursing is a science and an art. Nurses have the privilege to care for patients on their best and worst days of their lives. Nurses are often the first and most frequent line of contact with people of all backgrounds and experiences seeking care, including those with disabilities. People with disabilities represent a significant portion of every community. Many individuals either know someone with a disability or are themselves impacted by one. Disabilities can arise from various causes and conditions, which evolve over time, especially in the context of the COVID era. This ongoing evolution highlights the critical need for healthcare systems to stay informed about emerging disabling conditions and to prioritize lifelong learning for current and future healthcare providers. I'm asking for your support and vote for me, 25 election ballot for KNA Professional Nurse Practice and Advocacy Cabinet. So that concludes our section on Professional Nurse and Advocacy Cabinet. We're going to go to Ethics and Human Rights Committee. The vice chair running is Joy Coles.
Good evening, everybody. Wow, this is exciting. I am likewise very grateful, so grateful to be among such an impressive and inspiring group of fellow nurses. My name is Dr. Joy Coles, and I'm honored to be running for Vice Chair of the Ethics and Human Rights Committee for the Kentucky Nurses Association. I've proudly served as the secretary for 2 terms, and I've been deeply involved and committed to advancing ethical nursing practice and protecting the rights of both nurses and the patients that we lovingly serve. As a contributing member, I've assisted in pioneering innovative practices like Dear Benny alongside the other members, as well as our former chair, Jory Berg, and our new chair, Rosa Hart. Benny is short for Beneficence, which is a platform for nurses to engage with Benny to help answer difficult ethical dilemmas in nursing. I hope to continue to contribute with the Ethics Committee to champion key initiatives like Dear Benny that raise awareness of ethical dilemmas nurses face in very real time, from patient autonomy and health equity to workplace moral distress. My goal as vice chair is to continue building and be a contributing member on this important foundation by fostering an open, inclusive, and proactive environment, one where every nurse's voice is heard and ethical practice is not just discussed, but it's championed. I bring with me a strong background in nursing, clinical ethics, policy advocacy, and frontline experience, ensuring that our conversations even will remain grounded in what truly matters, delivering or continuing to deliver compassionate, just, and equitable care. We are, after all, as nurses, the most trusted, and our code of ethics informs our practice. I love and appreciate KNA, and I've been a member, a proud member of KNA for well over a decade as an experienced nurse working in cardiovascular nursing. I received my BSN and my DNP degree from University of Kentucky, proud alum, go Cats, and completed my postdoc in nurse as a nurse educator at Johns Hopkins University. I also hold an MBA in healthcare management. I'm an advanced heart nurse prac at UK, and I am the coordinator, the DNP coordinator and program lead at Kentucky State University, an assistant professor. Love my nurses and my nursing students. And I have held many leadership roles, including the outgoing state representative liaison to the American Association of Nurse Practitioners. I'm a member of KANPNM, which is our state organization for advanced nurses. And I am on the nominations committee for Sigma Theta Tau International, Delta Psi Chapter, UK. And I'm a former nurse chair of the Magnet Committee at UK Healthcare. So I humbly ask for your vote and support to serve as your vice chair of ethics and human rights on the committee. Together, we can ensure ethics and human rights remain at the very heart of how we nurse in our beautiful home, our beautiful Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it, Joy. We are going to keep going with our committee. We do have Adam Sandfloss has joined us, but I'll have him at the end of our we just have a few more candidates to hear from. We'll use him at the end. So now we're going to move on to ethic and human rights. The secretarial position is Tracy Littlehale on the call.
Here I am. Hello. It's such an honor to be here and to be here to ask for your support as I run for Secretary of the Ethics and Human Rights Committee. I've served on this committee very happily and proudly for 2 terms. I'm in my 2nd term. I serve as vice chair of this committee and have been a member at large and an interim secretary. I've been part of KNA for the past 6 to 8 years, and it's been a highlight of and continues to be a highlight of my professional life. I'm very inspired by the work that we do and hoping to continue my service on the Ethics and Human Rights Committee. My vision is to help make ethics more accessible to nurses and make the ANA Code of Ethics a practical tool instead of something that is more esoteric or theoretical, but something that nurses can see this is part of our everyday life, because it very much is. As Joy spoke about, we've implemented the Dear Benny project to help bring ethical dilemmas to the forefront of nursing thought and to have some conversations around those and raise awareness about the code of ethics and the ethical dilemmas that nurses face every day. With your support, I can continue this work that I love so much and feel so inspired by and dedicated to. And I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tracy. We're going to go to the member at large for this committee, and I'm going to be slaughtering her name, so she must correct me. Chioma Amici, you must correct if I'm not pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, sorry, Chioma Amici.
Chioma Amici, thank you.
That's okay. All right. Hello, everybody. My name's Chioma. I am asking for your vote for a member at large for the Ethics and Human Rights Committee. So a little background on me is I'm born and raised in Kentucky, so Kentucky girl. I went to Berea College for my undergraduate, my BSN, and my dad went to Berea, my older sister went to Berea, my younger brother just graduated from Berea, so we're big Berea grads. But I got my undergrad at Berea, and while I was there, I was roommates with Audrey Poston's daughter for a semester, and she's the one who reached out to me whenever she saw that there was an opening for a committee member, and she told me that she thought I'd be a great fit for it. I had been a member of the KNA, but I hadn't, been super involved. So I thought to myself, hey, this is a great opportunity for me. So let me just go ahead and jump on it and see what all this is about. And there's never a wrong time, I think, to get involved. So after she reached out to me, I started kind of listening in on the meetings and being an interim member. And I would really have, ethics and human rights is really close to my heart. I think I've been a bedside nurse for about 8 years. I worked through the pandemic at bedside. I was also in NP school at the same time, so that was difficult, as you can imagine. But I definitely saw how ethics and human rights played a very large role in patient care during that time in particular. I find it very important. I think that ethics and human rights is at the forefront of what we do as nurses, and I think that it's probably, obviously everything's important, but I feel like it's definitely one of the most important things, at least to me. I think it's extremely important for us to provide the most ethical, the most appropriate, and the most affirming care that we can as nurses to our patients. I think that all patients deserve equal care, and all patients deserve the best care that we can possibly provide. So I'm currently working as a nurse practitioner, a cardiac nurse practitioner at Baptist Health here in Lexington, and I just started that job a few weeks ago, so still very new there, but I'm very excited to continue working there. And I'm hoping that things that I've learned on the Ethics and Human Rights Committee I can implement while I'm in that position. And I'm excited to continue working with the Dear Benny project, as a few have mentioned as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. I am hoping to earn your vote for this position, and I'm excited to see how everything goes. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Choma. I really appreciate that. Next, we have Amy Shaw. Amy Shaw.
Oh, hello, Chioma. Thank you so much. Now I have to follow that. Again, my name is Amy Shaw. I have nursing is my second degree. And this is a correction, I got my ADN and my BSN from Eastern, and I am I don't know, 2.5-year new psychiatric nurse practitioner. I have a nursing background in medical surgical ICU. And as Chioma, I worked during the pandemic. And psychiatric nursing has always been very close to my heart. I believe everybody has a story. Everybody's story needs to be heard, deserves to be heard and respected. So during that time, a little rough, And as Chioma said, a lot of things kind of came out, and probably some things that needed to come out on some disparities and things like that. But that's where my passion is helping everybody in the office as a psychiatric nurse practitioner. If I could have one client or a client base, it would be healthcare workers, because I think the work that we do really, really impacts us. And I think we're not very good about taking care of ourselves. But also as a nurse, I think most of us are why people. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Let's figure this out. I think it also helps us understand why we're doing what we're doing. Very early in my nursing career, I was voluntold to be part of committees. I was part of a magnet. And that kind of interested me. Like, here's where the why is. This is where we get to know where the why is. So I'm basically working my way up. So I did the building committee. I'm currently the treasurer at the Bluegrass chapter. I've been that 3 years, I think. And so I feel like this is the next step. No, I don't have a lot of other, committees and things like that behind me. But like Chioma said also, it's like you've got to start somewhere. And so I'm also on the committee with Annie with the LGBTQ plus SNP, and that's very exciting. With that, we're hoping to educate people on what that means. And I think that's where the Human Rights and the Ethics Committee is we're going to take that responsibility to educate nurses about what that means, so we can also talk to our patients and the community. So I really appreciate this opportunity, and I think it was Michael that said if we could all just love everyone. So I'd like to reiterate that. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy. Moving on to our next section of the Nominations and Elections Committee. That's my committee. So we have Member at Large, Mary Raley.
Here I am.
Thank you, Mary.
Hi. So thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you. As Ann mentioned, my name is Mary Raley. I have been a nurse for a very long time. I actually retired almost 3 years ago after spending almost 50 years in nursing. So it's been a very long career. So Annie, I've got you beat on that. Been around a long time. Spent most of my career working in emergency nursing and trauma nursing. So that's where most of my time has been spent. I graduated from Murray State and with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and have spent my career being certified in everything from TNCC to ENPC and spent a lot of my time as an educator. So as a bedside nurse, then in leadership roles, and then on into education. And then my last role was at a level 2 trauma center in Evansville. We're at a pediatric and adult trauma center where I did injury prevention education, and I ran the ATLS program there for many years. So lots of background in education, and I've been very involved with the Emergency Nurses Association, the Society for Trauma Nurses, and so now it's time for me to become active with the Kentucky Nurses Association. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity, and I'm very excited to be speaking to you today about this position. Like I said, I've been a proud nurse for many years, and my journey in nursing has been both rewarding and purposeful because I feel like I've touched the lives of a lot of people throughout my nursing career. I've seen the power of leadership, and I have felt very compelled to help shape our professional environment in the future of nursing here in Kentucky. So I'm running for this position because I believe that we need to have fair, transparent, and an inclusive process when it comes to selecting our leaders. And there's so many great leaders out there, and I think that we really do need to really pull on all of this wealth of knowledge. I've just been overwhelmed by all of the things that all of you have talked about that you've done. So I think you all are some great candidates. I also want to say that when you are looking at running for a position, I think it's really important that you think about the strength of your organization. And it lies with the diversity in our voices and with our experiences. As you can tell, there's so many experiences here within this group. And I want to help ensure that every member has the opportunity to be heard, to be seen, and to be empowered to lead. So thank you all for stepping up. So if I'm elected, I'm going to work to uphold the integrity of our nomination process. I want to encourage participation from nurses from all across the state because we have so many backgrounds, so many different specialties. And I want to help identify strong, committed individuals who are going to serve our profession and do it with excellence, which I believe we all strive to be excellent in our jobs. I also want to bring a spirit of collaboration.
I'm sorry, you're 30 seconds over if you just want to wrap up.
Okay, thank you. I also want to bring a spirit of collaboration and fresh energy to the committee's work. And I want to thank you for your time, your trust, and for everything you do in nursing. And I appreciate it. And I would be honored to have your support.
Thank you, Mary. We're going to go to Ashley Lacey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Lacey. I decided to run for the nomination committee because I believe having high quality candidates is very important to having a robust nurses association. A lot of my experience is actually most recently in the magnet recognition program at Baptist Health Lexington. I have since transitioned to a role at Baptist Health Louisville. I tell people I'm just moving down I-64. So I've gotten to meet a lot of people from across the state. And, magnet really brings a lot of attention to having nurses involved in all the decisions. And I think having the state association really brings that even to those organizations that don't have magnet or pathway. So having those great candidates are going to be those wonderful folks to represent all of us when it comes to things that we need. I have also been a big fan of getting people involved within the organization. So I think this is just kind of taking that to the next level. Just a little bit of background about me. I got my bachelor's at Morehead State University, my master's in administration at Indiana Wesleyan. I heard a few different Indiana Wesleyan alumni. I'm getting ready to start on my doctorate of nursing practice through McKendree University. So professionally developing is a big thing that I love to do, and kind of drawing others into doing the same is definitely one of my passions. So I very much hope you all will support me in running for the nomination committee, and I look forward to helping grow some other folks within the state over the term if I am chosen.
Thank you very much, Ashley. We're going to go back now to the Government Affairs Cabinet for a staff nurse position, and Adam Sandfloss. Are you on the call now?
Yeah, so I'm here.
Perfect, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my name's Adam Sanfis. I have been a member of the Government Affairs Committee now for about 1.5 years. I am a registered nurse at St. Elizabeth up here in Northern Kentucky, where I've been there for about 20 years now. Started when I was 19 years old. I'm now a team lead specializing in cardiothoracic surgery. And I also run our Pride Associate Resource Group, which has become a great avenue for LGBTQ associates where we do things throughout the hospital as well as throughout the community. Outside the hospital, I graduated from NKU with my bachelor's in nursing and also a bachelor's in political science, where I graduated with honors. While I was at NKU, I interned in Frankfurt working in state government. And then when I graduated from college, I actually became a city councilman for my current city in Cold Spring, where I'm on my, I think, 8th term right now. So I've been doing that since 2010, representing my city and helping coordinate our budgets and lobbying in Frankfurt for specific needs for my city. I also graduated in 2010, right after I interned in DC. So in 2009, I was an intern for Representative Ben Chandler out of Lexington, specializing in healthcare legislation. I got to work on the Affordable Care Act while I was there, go to all the meetings with the senators and representatives, and it's been a very big passion of mine for nurses to be involved in the political process. I feel like, as opposed to teachers or firefighters or police officers, nurses, we don't advocate for ourselves in the same way. We don't march on Washington as much or as well, I feel like, as other specialties do. And it's a shame because there's so many of us. And here in Kentucky, we've been really fortunate to have such great leadership with the KNA that I was able to go to Frankfurt in February, and we were lobbying down there and meeting with different senators and House members. And it's really big, a great passion of mine to help kind of advocate for the nurses who a lot of times feel that they don't have anybody advocating for them. They advocate for their patients, but no one really maybe is fighting for them when it comes to workplace safety or benefits or rights. So it's been such a great honor this past year, year and a half, to kind of be able to speak for those who maybe feel like they're not being heard. And so I really hope to continue that, and I hope that I can have your vote and your support.
Thank you, Adam. This concludes my section of the candidate presentations. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for every single person on this call, not only the ones that listened in, but also the presenting candidates. I so appreciate your time and your energy, and we have a wonderful slate this year. And I can't emphasize enough to get your colleagues, get your friends and pals involved with KNA and get them to vote. Voting is the key. And so I want to turn it back over to Joanne, our current Kentucky KNA president, for some just closing remarks. And again, thank you very much for your time.
I just want to second what Annie said. We have amazing candidates on this call tonight. I'm making notes, I'm writing things down, I'm circling things. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a very difficult decision. I may have to go back and watch the videos again. So please, like Annie said, reach out to fellow KNA members. We usually don't have a huge turnout for the election. That election starts August 1st through the 15th. If you have colleagues that are members of the KNA, tap them into the KNA website so they can watch that video, so they can be informed on who they're going to vote for. It's really important that we do have a voice on who is going to lead the 90,000 nurses in the state of Kentucky. And I feel anybody on this, any of the candidates that I've heard tonight are going to be a wealth of knowledge and support for the positions that they're going to take in November. It's going to be an amazing group. And I do want to say, if you don't get elected to a position, we will find you a home in the KNA. We are definitely a working organization, association. We work hard for the 90,000 nurses in the state of Kentucky, so there will be a spot for each and every one of you all. I would be remiss if I didn't say this too. We have our first annual 5K in E-Town on September 5th, right, Dolores? So mark your calendar now for a great time in E-Town, where we're going to walk, run, fellowship, whatever we choose to do, stroll, volunteer, whatever you want to do on that day. But it'll be a great time for all of us to come together and show our support to E-Town and ensuring that we have a healthy community there.
Absolutely, Joanne, just to interrupt briefly, sorry, it's
Yeah.
September 6th. So it's Saturday. Everybody, please plan to attend. And I put the link in the chat box.
Yes. So please plan to attend. And then our gala is November 13th. It's our second annual gala, and it will be here in Louisville, Kentucky at the Olmsted. So we would love to have you all come to that as well. It's an amazing night. And that's all I have. Thank you all again.
Thank you for attending. This will conclude our 2025 election forum. And again, I thank everyone for your time and attendance.